I'm Brianna Hutchinson.
Hi, I am Victoria Davey.
Hi, I am Valerie Frazier.
And I am Christian Tate, and we are
Innovative Minds Consulting, LLC.
Today, we will be discussing the TJX companies. We will first discuss a brief case overview. We will then move on to the mission, vision, and value statements. After that, we will discuss the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats within our SWOT analysis. We will then move on to the strategic issue, after which we will discuss the recommended strategy for the strategic issue. We will then move on to the implementation plan for this recommended strategy that we have come up with for you guys, and then after that, we will discuss the balanced scorecard. As you all know, TJX Company is headquartered in Boston, Massachusetts. TJX owns AJ Wright, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, as well as Home Goods, and overseas in Europe, Ireland, and Canada, they own Winners, HomeSense, and TK Maxx. When looking within your corporation, we did not find a vision statement. So we took it upon ourselves to create one that would entail all aspects within the entity of the TJX companies. We came up with a vision. Our vision is to be the leading off-price retailer of apparel and home fashions on a global platform. After which, we looked for a mission statement within your corporation, and we again came up with nothing. So we took it upon ourselves to come up with a mission statement for your corporation. If you could take a few moments to look over this. Within the mission statement, we want to make sure that we had a few key components, 9 to be exact. What are your customers? Who are they and what are they looking for? What products or services does your corporation entail? What markets are you looking to enter? Are you up to date on the technology that your other retailers are using? Do you have your survival, growth, and profitability? What is your philosophy, self-concept, public image, and last but not least, does this relate to your employees? After which, we came up with a value statement. If you could read that as well for a few. Now we'll move on to my colleague to discuss the strengths within your corporation.
So when looking into your corporation, we found a couple strengths and a couple weaknesses, and now we're gonna go through them for you. The first thing is that you guys have 3,300 stores in 7 different countries. That's a really big deal. You also have a very diverse marketing campaign. So when it comes to men, women, and children, you market to everyone across the board. Your company also sells off-price retailing, which means that you take merchandise from other companies and you sell it for 20 to 60% less. You stay current with POS technology. So when it comes to the cards and the new chips that they put in Apple Pay, your machines are able to satisfy all that new technology within your stores. You own 2 of the largest off-price retailing brands in the United States, TJ Maxx and Marshalls. Your total assets increased by 7% from 2013 to 2014. Now onto your weakness. You have sufficient issues hiring new talent and keeping new management. When it comes to your marketing, although you are diverse, as in you market to everyone, compared to your competitors, you don't really do a good job at it. Because you have 3,300 stores worldwide, when it comes to opening new stores, you don't do a very good job. If you open a new store, you have a hard time finding a place to put it geographically. When it comes to software, you guys aren't really up to date in your software when it comes to online retailers, apps, anything on the internet. Your revenue did decline by 1.65% in 2014, so we want to try to fix that. Since you are worldwide and you are a global company, sometimes and oftentimes, negative currency rates do affect your business. Now I'm going to pass it along to Christian, and he's going to go through your financial ratios.
Again, I am Christian, and I'm going to go over your financial ratios with you. We took a look at liquidity ratios to start off. Your current ratio was 1.72. This lets us know that your company is doing extremely well in financing the short-term obligations. We also took a look at your quick ratio, which is 0.75, which lets us know that for every dollar of current liabilities you have 75 cents to cover those liabilities. In the leverage ratio category, we took a look at your debt to equity ratio, which is 0.3. And that lets us know that your company is financing its current assets with equity and not debt. Also, we took a look at your activity ratio, and your inventory ratio is 6.65, which is pretty low compared to the industry at 9.63. But with our proposed strategy, we think that that would allow your inventory ratio to increase that above the industry average. Your profitability ratio, which is your return on asset percentage, is 21.74, which is a great attractiveness level to let your investors know that they should invest in TJX, because it's well above the industry average at 13.06. Now we're going to take a look at a few opportunities facing the company. The average family wages are expected to grow at an annualized rate of 2.2% as employment rate and wages increase. This is going to give consumers a chance to gain more disposable income, which in turn they will spend in your stores. Gap Inc. Has struggled with image consumer preference over the last 5 years because of their perceived low image quality. This will drive these customers into your stores, so we think that this is a major opportunity for your company. The industry comprises of adults of 20 to 64 years of age. This group of people, or this demographic, is going to grow over the next few years, so we think that this could increase the industry demand for your products. Like my colleagues spoke about before, you guys are behind in this, but we still see an opportunity for growth in the e-commerce businesses because of your direct-to-consumer segment. You do currently have e-commerce, but you don't have any mobile apps. But we think this is a major opportunity for your company. Now we're going to take a look at your threats. Yes, we spoke about the disposable income, but that could go both ways. You are the world's largest off-price retailer, which consumers choose to consume, when they are lower on funds, but because disposable income is rising, this might compel consumers to want to spend more money on their things like clothing and apparel, and be less price sensitive in that regard. The apparel and footwear industries loses about $12 million in revenue yearly, and this is a big threat to your company because these are the dollars that could go in your pocket that consumers choose to spend their money on these counterfeit goods. TJ Maxx operates in a highly competitive market, the retail market, with the top competitors such as Ross, Kohl's, Gap, Banana Republic, Old Navy, just to name a few, that are always trying to come up with innovative ways in order to gain consumer or market share. You guys are the top of the market right now, but because of the changes in technology and the changes in consumer preference, that could change if you don't stay abreast of what's going on in the industry. Again, we speak on e-commerce and the online auction industry. Consumers are more apt to want to shop online rather than go to that physical store location. So we see that this is a major threat for you because you don't have a mobile application. The external conclusion, TJ Maxx has a few external challenges due to consumer preference in advanced technology, and you guys aren't capitalizing on some key external factors. And we came up with the strategic issue, and because of we said the changing trend in technology and the need for technological advances within the industry, this is what we have provided for you. And our strategic issue reads: with the rising trend of e-retail, consumers are preferring to shop online. You guys do, as we spoke before, have an e-commerce sector, but you do not have a mobile app. And we have noticed that you guys' company is not up to date with the technology advances, and we believe that this could negatively affect your revenues. So therefore, our recommended strategy is an actual mobile application app. And with this app, it will allow consumers to purchase through your domestic segment. So all the TJX brands that are domestic, we're not thinking about branching overseas yet. We want to try this out domestically, and it will give consumers a chance to purchase as well as purchase goods, as well as manage their TJX rewards card via the mobile app. And we want to roll out the Try Before You Buy campaign, which will allow consumers to take a photo of themselves before they, it's kind of like a try on the clothes, if you will. They will be able to try on it at home dressing room, as well as for home decor through your home goods segment. They will be allowed to take a picture of wherever they need the new decor within their home to see how it will fit with what they currently have. And now I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Val for the recommended strategy.
Okay, so for the recommended strategy, we've seen that TJX had a lack of technological advances that could hinder the company within the long run. Also, there's a growing demand for more innovative retail applications. We saw that some of TJX's top competitors have already started in the retail application trend, and this will help TJX to stay abreast of their competitors. In addition to that, there's a need for an alternative for customers to receive on-hand information and easy accessibility to build customer retention. Okay, so I'm sure you're wondering just how we're going to implement this strategy. So, for starters, TJX should plan to introduce new development of consumer application within 6 months after development. In addition to that, they should increase financial growth by 5% annually. And they should develop and implement a promotional plan to increase their business. And then HR should employ and train professionals that are capable for consumer mobility, and also to achieve and maintain great customer satisfaction. So moving along, I did see that for devising policies, which is not mentioned here, that there's no need to devise policies because this strategy wouldn't require that, because TJX policies are already in place that will fit this strategy. Now, what is not mentioned here is devising policies, and we felt as though TJX policies are already in place that it wouldn't need any adjusting. So, for allocating resources, TJX should allocate their resources from the e-commerce to develop this strategy, because TJX does not have a research and development department that we could take those funds from. And then they should slightly alter the existing organizational structure. To slightly alter the existing organizational structure by having someone from each segment to both report to both the vice president of e-commerce and the IT department. Then to minimize resistance to change, we felt they should maintain a family style environment which encourages feedback, and so they can be more comfortable with and aware of what's going on. For human resources, they should develop a team that could create the app, hiring more experienced IT professionals. So those people that they're taking from each segment, they will employ those people for eBoard and then train them to build the application. So they should continue to build authentic and personal relationships to develop the strategy supportive culture. Now, for link performance to pay strategy to boost employees' determination and customer retention, we felt as though that it's not required and the strategy doesn't call for it. However, it would boost employee determination and customer retention. And now I'm going to pass it on to my colleague, Victoria.
Next, we will be discussing the projected financials. When looking at the cost of this investment, we decided that we were going to take 3% of the current sales for the company. Your current sales are about $27.4 million, and 3% of this is roughly $872,000. When looking at that, we decided to also take $150,000 for the app development, making the cost of this development $972,680.88. When looking at the gain on this investment and what your company would be getting from this after the cost, we saw that it was about 17.5 cents per download of a new app, especially one that's in retail. When looking at this, we decided that if we projected that maybe 1 million apps were to be downloaded this year for the TJX company, that would result in a 20.8% return on investment. That would result in a 20.8% return on investments for the corporation. Next, we'll be moving on to my colleague to discuss the balanced scorecard.
So when looking into how this app will be successful, we look into a couple different categories. The first one I'm going to go over for you is the financial category. So to see if this app is actually going to do you justice, we feel that it should increase your revenue by 5% annually. So for the next 3 to 5 years, you should see an increase of 5% across the board. And also within 3 years, your total increase of online sales should be 10%. So now another section of the Balance Scorecard would be customer. So in order to see that the customer is satisfied with the product, which would be the app, is to see that we have a customer satisfaction score of at least 80% monthly. Now we do understand that might take a little bit of time for you to get, but within about 1 to 3 months, we expect a constant customer satisfaction rating of 80%. As well as in Google Play and the App Store, customers are able to rate the app on how it's used and give reviews. We expect in 6 to 12 months, preferably 6 months before the 12, you should have a 4-star rating, and every year after it should continue that way. Now when it comes to the process of the application, it also is trial and error. So when you're developing the app within the 3 years, we expect after the first year that there should be an app you should reduce application updates by 40%. And also, you should have a customer retention rate of 60%. Studies have shown that through the research that we've done, that once a user downloads an application one time, it's likely that 90% of them will not go back to reuse the application. So we want 60% of our customers within the 3 years that download the app to come back and reuse the TJX app. Now for employees, to show that they actually enjoy where they're working and the process of developing this app and thereafter, annually we think you should develop a customer survey. So at the end of the year, you just have the employees sit down, answer a couple questions, give them a blank box so they can write their comments in. So you guys, so as managers, you can learn how to adjust any problems. So we expect a 75% score annually in that regard. And we also want to increase your revenue per employee by 5%. Currently, your revenue per employee is about $145,000. So a 5% increase would be about $7,000. So we expect that between the first year and the end of the 5 years, that it should increase by 5%. So naturally, we want to make sure that everything your company is doing is ethical. So we think that you should give your employees a series of tests to see how ethical they really are, and there should be a 90% passing rate in that as well. And because we are developing an app, within 2 years we can expect a 2% reduction in paper usage. So that can be anywhere from billboards, because you're promoting online more, in-store receipt tape, because instead they're getting their receipts through their email, things of that nature. And that is the end of our presentation, and thank you for your time.